Hi everyone, I hope you're well. Welcome to Sipping with Sue. Just adjusting the phone there. There we go. I hope you're all well on this beautiful day. It's a little sunny, a little cloudy here, but it's all good. I'm just going to give it a few minutes because it takes a while for Facebook to kind of connect that I'm live and that I'm here. So hopefully a few people will show up and we'll be able to participate today. It is just a gorgeous, gorgeous day out, and I'm excited to be here and excited to be live. And it's been one of those days for me, just sort of an amazing day where I'm actually by myself today. Like, that is truly a miracle that I am all alone and by myself. That never happens. I've spoken to a few friends before who have said to me, oh, you're never alone, which is true. I mean, there's always a child around, somebody needing something from me, a husband, a cat, a dog, I don't know, something. There's always, somebody around who definitely needs me. And so today, the good news is there's nobody around who needed me. So I got so much done. And on top of that, the bonus about getting so much done today is that time kind of stood still. I don't usually have days like that. I don't know if you've ever had days like that. But on top of being by myself today, time was just still. So I was working, getting all kinds of things done. Looked at the clock, 11 o'clock. Okay, wow, I can't believe it's 11. Feels like it should be 1. Then I did some more work, looked at the clock. It's 2. No, sorry, it's noon. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's noon. Like, it should be 3 o'clock. It was just one of those days where every time I looked at the clock, I swore it should have been 4 hours later, and it wasn't. So honestly, truly a blessing and truly grateful to have a day like today. Don't get me wrong, love my family, love my children, love everybody, but to have a whole day to yourself and then for time to kind of stand still. And I just kept checking things off the checklist today. It was just beautiful. It was honestly an amazing thing. So I feel truly grateful for that. The other thing that I feel grateful with before we get into our content around the joys of social media is just, again, a thank you out to everybody who is following and commenting and, making connections and taking the time to read my blog and my posts and make comments. I just so really appreciate it. And those of you that come out to the vlogs, again, I know everyone is so busy, so I appreciate the support and I appreciate everybody doing that. So thank you so much. So I wanted to start, and I'm just trying to wait for a few more people. I see some people come and then go. I don't know, maybe there's some funky issues with Facebook today, but I'm just gonna fix this so you guys can see me a little bit more, but not too close. You don't want to see the fine lines. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got a little too much primer on today for that, so hopefully those are hidden. Anyway, I wanted to talk about the joys of social media. And so when I put that title out there, a few people were saying to me, are you joking or are you serious about the joys of social media? So actually I am serious, because everything I do comes from a positivity sort of point of view, even though it may appear to be negative. So let me start with how I came up with this idea to talk about it. And I do want to hear from you today as well and your input. So this week I was doing my usual on the phone, connecting on all my social media platforms, because I'm on all of them, and I'm very hands-on. So when you see a response, it's coming from me, nobody else. A like, a comment, a post, a tag, it all comes from me. And I love it, but it's also a lot of work, especially when you're trying to build a business and, you're branding yourself. And it will always be that important to me, no matter how big I get. I want to be an active part in the social media thing and in my networking. So I was doing all of that, and it was funny because, someone just said, oh, well, I'm sideways. I don't know why I'm sideways. Sometimes this happens with social media. So I'm sorry if I'm sideways, guys. I can't really fix it right now. So anyway, you'll have to take me sideways. Sometimes in life we're a little sideways. Sorry. The joys of social media. Here we go. See, we're talking about it. The joys of social media. Sometimes you think you have it all planned out and it doesn't quite work according to plan. You got to go with it. Anyway, so I was on the couch and I was really consumed, because it's so important to me, and it's important that I respond to everybody, because I enjoy it and I like it, but at the same time I was tired and my brain was saying, to me, put the phone down. You've been on it for hours, but my hands wouldn't come off the phone. I could not detach myself from the phone. And I was like, ugh. So eventually I did, but then I got off the phone and I just realized how tired and kind of cranky and miserable I was. And I was not really loving myself too much. So I thought the best strategy I know when I'm kind of in that state, and it does happen to me, is to go to bed. So it wasn't late and I went to bed, because to me, everything is always better the next morning. So I went to bed and woke up in the morning and it was all wonderful. But I guess for me, what I started to think of was the demands sometimes that social media puts on us. And, you know, sometimes I feel those demands and I feel sort of that negative piece of social media affecting my life. And my goal today is to talk about that and to see how we can turn that around. And I want to hear your points of view. And I recently did an assignment with some students for a course that I'm teaching, and it was a letter to the future. And a lot of them talked about social media. And the impact that social media has, negative and positive, on our lives. I mean, it's not going anywhere. It's always going to be here. But how do we cope with it? And so for me, it takes a lot to become overwhelmed. But I came really overwhelmed that one day and that evening with social media. And because it is so important to me to connect, and it is so important for me to be on it. And as I grow, I'm getting more connected with people, joining groups. So I am on it a little bit more. It also had some insight to me around, you know, the younger generation, like my son, who, when I say get off the social media, can't get off the social media. But I get it, because that night I couldn't get off the social media either. My brain and my hands were having a different conversation, right? My brain was like, get off, and my hands were like, stay on. So I get it, and that's a bit of a struggle. So I'm almost, in a way, probably a little obsessed with social media myself, and electronics. And I never used to be like that, but you can see how it actually does happen. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that. So I came up with a little bit of a list, and yes, I do have paper. Every good entrepreneur comes prepared. So I am ready and prepared. So some of the negatives that I came up with, and some of the negatives, I actually had a conversation with my son a little bit around the negatives, but my goal is, how do we turn those negatives into a positive? What's the plan? So let's look at that. So some of the negatives around around social media are that I find a lot of kids are lacking sometimes, not all, in social skills, because they're constantly on the electronics, right? And that is a fear. That is a fear, I'm sure, of many parents, is that whole social skills piece. It can be consuming, as I know, because I'm on it, and it can be addictive, as I know. Like, I think I need some time away from it as well. So I get it. Sometimes I don't tend to succumb to pressure, but I do sometimes feel a little bit of pressure. And what I mean by that is, people will post things about all the fabulous things they're doing, which is great, especially in their business. And I'll be like, oh, I'm not doing enough. I need to do more. And I sometimes feel that pressure. And I have to watch that, right? Because everybody is promoting themselves, and everybody is making themselves, you know, we're all branding ourselves, even personally, right? So I have to watch that. But I can find that sometimes being a negative, but then it can turn into a positive. So we'll talk about that. What else do I have? Sometimes you have some interesting people follow you on social media. I've had a few, we'll just call it interesting, odd followers, who I've had to block, especially, you know, some interesting men who have, you know, said some inappropriate things to me on social media. But there's always an option, right? You can block them. So that has been an interesting learning curve for me. So there you go. It's good to know that if I'm ever single again, I guess I've got some options. I don't know. Let's not go there. It might be scary. I think sometimes for some people, it's about, you know, I've got to get 5,000 followers on Facebook. I got to get, you know, 3,000 on Twitter. And it's more about the accumulation of numbers than it is sometimes building the legitimate connections, which can be lost on social media sometimes. But I'll talk about the positives around that as well. And the other thing I find especially more so now, is a lot of people are trying to sell you things. And I get it, because people, this is a free space to promote yourself, and people are trying to sell you more things. And, you know, again, some of the things you grab onto and some of the things you don't. So you kind of have to strike the balance with that, right? So if anybody's out there, I'd love to hear from you. Maybe some of the negative things that you feel are around social media, and how maybe you've turned that around to make it more positive, to kind of have that positive outlook. So I would love to hear kind of your perspective on that. And then I'm going to start with my positive list, because I do have a positive list. But before I do that, I'm going to take a sip of my coffee. And you'll notice, you know, every time I try to have a different mug, a different cup. And this is my Mohawk College alumni mug, which is actually very timely because tomorrow is our 50th celebration, excuse me, for Mohawk College, for our alumni, and very excited about it. We're having a celebration tomorrow. I actually am very fortunate. I sit on the Alumni Council. This is my first year, and I just really love it. And so tomorrow I will be helping out in the afternoon and the evening, registration desk, mingling, maybe a little dancing, connecting with, you know, hopefully seeing some old alumni classmates that I haven't seen in a while. So I'm really, really excited about that. I'm so proud to be an alumni of Mohawk College, and actually proud to say that I actually was a convocation speaker a couple years ago at the college. So I just honestly love everything about it. So I'm excited about that. So I thought that this was appropriate for today. So I'm going to take a sip, and then we're going to go through the positives of social media. What are the positive things? Because all I hear now from people is, you know, social media, the negative, there's such a negative impact. And actually, when I made the list, my positive list was longer than my negative list. 2 seconds. Okay. And actually, when you drink coffee, then you got to reapply the lipstick. You know what I'm saying? There you go. See? You always got to come prepared. There you go. All right. So what are some of the positives? Well, for me, this could be a positive negative, because I'm not a huge news fan. I actually, a couple years ago, made a conscious decision to not watch the news as much as I do, because I was finding that was affecting me and making me more negative. But at the same time, I need to be part of the news, and I need to know what's happening. So for instance, you know, the tragedy this week that happened in Manchester, you know, I want to know about that. I want to be there to, you know, offer condolences, even if it's online, and send positive vibes, because I believe in that. You know, when mass amounts of people are doing that, it does make a difference. So that, although I don't love the news, it still keeps me in the know about things, but I have a choice around that. I have a choice around how much I choose to watch the news or not watch the news. Hi, Meg. And guess what? I'm reading your comments sideways. Here's a new thing. Oh my gosh, this is hilarious. I'm reading Meg's comments sideways because for some reason my screen is sideways today. Oh my gosh. Hilarious. Okay, so we gotta laugh. Gotta laugh. Okay, so I'm reading Meg's comments sideways. So Meg's saying that too many people use social media merely to promote or sell something rather than make genuine connections. They're just collecting people to get big numbers. And having more of a genuine connection with people is important. Thank you. She loves my earrings. Thank you. Yes, they're a little big today, but I'm loving them. You know, fun. Yeah, gotta have big earrings, right? Be big and bold. There's another vlog. Anyway, thank you, Meg, and sorry to everybody for seeing my head sideways. Hey, it's a new angle, right? When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Dr. Wayne Dyer. See, there you go. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Just moving the camera. Okay, so what else do we have? So that's kind of my take on that. The other piece I love about social media, I mean, it's kind of sad in one way, but it helps, is, you know, people post things about missing animals and missing pets, and then I see messages about, you know, the pets were found, and I love that. I mean, it's sad when there's missing people and missing children, but honestly, people share and post that. And I've actually seen it with somebody that I know where a child of theirs was missing and it was posted and then the child was found. So, I mean, although those are negative and sad situations, you know, something positive comes out of them. And I love that. I love that the community wraps around those events, those traumatic events, and supports each other. I think that that's a huge piece of it that sometimes we're missing, right? Which is, you know, really, really important. What else do I have? You know, making good business connections. And I think, Meg, that goes along with what you were saying is, sometimes we're all about the numbers, but making those good business connections. And so this week, actually, and last week, I decided to reach out to a couple people that I really don't know, but I've been following and they're very interesting. And I was like, can I connect with you? And I wasn't selling them anything. And I just felt a connection. I felt, you know, just, I wanted to talk to them. Let's pick up the phone the old fashioned way. I know, like 1950s or 60s. Sorry, don't know when the phone was invented. Didn't do my research. But pick up that phone and let's talk to each other. And I did. To a lady last week, Carol Starr Taylor. Thanks, Carol. We had a great conversation, about an hour and a half on the phone. Legitimate, real connection. Love it. And this week with Susan, just today, yesterday we had a great connection, and today we did some kind of texting back and forth, and made some real legitimate connections. And I know that that's not always doable because we're so busy and life is so busy. But I think it can be done. And when you take the time to do that, it's really so important. Right. And even in my personal life, yesterday, a really good friend of mine called me. We tend to text a lot with each other, don't see each other all the time. And my friend was like, hey, do you want to pick up the phone and call me? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And it was the best. We had the most amazing conversations. So sometimes we just have to go back to, you know, some of the simpler things that we did, and make those connections, real legitimate connections, right? Which is really, really important. So I plan on, you know, to do that even more, and also to get out to some networking events from the people that I've met on social media. So that's really important. What else? I think sometimes on social media, I do feel like I'm never alone. Like, you know, it could be 1 a.m. and I'm up and then I'm on social media and someone's posting something, or I could private message somebody, or I could do a chat with them. I mean, excuse me, I never feel like I'm alone on social media, which I guess in a way is a good thing. The other thing I love is I'll post a question like, you know, need to find some beanbag chairs. Where do I go? And every time I do that, I get a variety of answers, and I land up finding where I need to go and where I need to buy things. I just, honestly, I love that piece of it. I've never been disappointed from the people that respond and give me answers to all of that. It's just fabulous. I really do love it. What else? Sometimes it is easier to share things on social media than pick up the phone and call everybody. Like, I get it. And you're going to be shocked. But 1 month, my husband came upstairs and said to me, okay, like, you have a problem. You have like 2,000 texts a month. Texts, I know. And I'm like, but honestly, it's just easier sometimes to communicate that way than pick up the phone. Because the truth is, and although I don't love saying this, I don't always have time to do that. So social media kind of helps with that, right? You get the message across a wider audience. But again, if it's something really personal, I don't believe in posting it on social media. I believe in honestly picking up that phone, but it helps, right? And plus, I'm also connected to friends that I have in the States that I, you know, maybe you can't always afford to call them. So I love that piece about social media. What else? Technology on a whole. I can connect with my children, like my son, much easier. You know, he lets me know where he is, or Mom, I'm here, or Mom, I'm going here. And I don't worry as much as I might be because he's always connected to me, which I think is a bonus for sure. Okay, I'm turning my head sideways to read a comment. Just a heads up. What do we got? Hi, Liz Charmoli. How are you? Miss those personal days of actually talking on the phone. Texting doesn't cut it most times. Yeah, I agree with you completely, for sure. It definitely doesn't cut it, and definitely agree. And thanks for coming out. Good to not see you, but good to hear from you. Okay, yeah, sure, we'll call it that. It gives me some knowledge. I learned some things from social media. People post interesting things, or some of the groups I'm following post, you know, articles or blogs and vlogs, and I learn a lot from that. So I do really love that piece about social media. I think it's awesome. What else do we have? I think people have fun. You know, people post fun quotes that represent themselves, their character. You know, some of these pictures with the ears and the nose and the eyes. I know sometimes people are like, okay, really? But I think it's fun. It's cute. It's silly. We're having fun. If we're not having fun, come on, what else are we doing? We got to have some fun in life. So I think that those are some of the positive pieces around social media. And the other positive piece for me is it is helping my speaking business. I mean, I am getting people looking at my posts, my blogs, and I just recently got booked yesterday for a talk, which I'm really excited about, for Rigel Supports for Community Living. I'm going to be doing my change talk, which is Choose Having Abundant New Growth Experiences. And I asked them how they heard about me. Social media. Right? So in the past, we wouldn't have that way to market ourselves. So I do feel really blessed to have that. And it's obviously working, right? So I think that that's the hugest piece for me, is it's really helped to promote my business. Are there any positives that you can think of from a social media standpoint that are helping you? I'd love to hear from you while I take another sip. And sometimes I think it might be hard for us to think about those positives, but there really are a lot of positives, you know, that are helping us around with that social media piece for sure. What else do I have? What's the best part of social media for you? What do you really love about social media? I'd love to hear from you. What is the best part of social media? What do you love around social media? What excites you about it? Not the negative stuff. Because for me, my motto is, for every negative, there's 3 positives. And I teach that when I teach, and I live and breathe that. And sometimes that's really hard to come up with an idea, right? Those kind of moments like that are positive for all the negatives that we see. The other piece I love, while I'm waiting to hear from you, and I love this, love it, love it, love it, is my mother, right, did the Mother's Day vlog with me. If you didn't get a chance to see it, you should take a look. It got a lot of views, and my mother is so excited about it. Every time I talk to her on the phone, she's like, what did people say? How did they comment? How many likes are there? And this is the woman who has no social media, you know, experience, doesn't even text, you know, has a cell phone, but really isn't interested. And I'm like, it's hilarious when I talk to her. She absolutely wants to know everything about that video. And it was her first time doing a vlog, and I thought she did a fabulous job. And yeah, just honestly is almost obsessed with it, but loves it. But I love seeing the excitement in her, because it's kind of brought out something in her that, you know, she never did before. And that's just so exciting. And actually some good news around that is I am going to be doing some more vlogs with my mom, maybe a little bit of a series, which I thought would be kind of neat, you know, to learn from the older generation, right? And sort of wrap in that social media. So you never know, we might be getting her on Facebook. That would be something if we saw that happen. So anyway, I love that piece about it, because she's so excited. You know, here I am exhausted this week from posting and liking and commenting, and she's like so excited about, you know, that video and wanting to know so many things about it. And I'm loving that she's using words like and how many people are commenting. And I'm thinking, yeah, it doesn't take you long to learn about it, right? So anyway, that's kind of exciting to me. What else? So social media isn't going anywhere, obviously, and I can imagine there's going to be new apps and new platforms and all kinds of things in the future. So, you know, what do we do? What do we do when we're feeling a little overwhelmed with social media? What are your choices on what you do? And I'm just reading sideways again. I know you guys you're gonna miss it when I'm not sideways. Oh, thanks. My mom, Liz, said that my mom did a fabulous job, and she's a natural speaker. I'll have to tell her. She might be taking over my Sipping with Sue. You never know. I better watch out. It's okay. Yeah, no, it's good. She did a great job. Honestly, she did a great job. You'd never know that my mom growing up used to stutter, horribly stutter. So much so that, you know, it just really affected her social life. You would never know that. And she did a fabulous job. An amazing job. So yeah, I'm very proud of her. So what are some of the things we do to deal with social media? Because we know it's not going anywhere. It's always going to be here, and there'll probably be more of it in the future, more platforms, more different things, you know, like Snapchat and Instagram and Facebook. So what do? So one of the strategies I have is, you know, I'm trying to post, connect, spend my time on it, and then learn to kind of walk away, disconnect, and then spend time with my family, and then go back to it when I need to go back to it, right? So that's one of the strategies I'm trying to do, you know, really set some limits around it. I think that that's important to do that. One of the things that I feel blessed, which is another skill I've learned from my mother, is how to be really super organized. So, you know, I can be on social media, I can allot my time during the day to be on it, and then, you know, I know basically when I can leave it and then go deal with other things that I need to deal with. So I make it part of my agenda each day. You know, I'm going to do this piece of social media, this much time. So I'm trying to get a little more specific with that and not have it consume, you know, my life. That's what I'm really trying to do. Those are my plans. That's what we're talking about, but we'll see. So yeah, so if you have any more to share about social media, I'd love to hear from you. Otherwise, I have a few things to share with you, and a few things that I just bought that I wanted to share with you that I'm really kind of excited about when we wrap up this whole sort of social media talk. And even when the vlog is over, if you want to comment later on about social media, I would love that. And I would love for you to share it as well, because then people can still comment and just, you know, warn people that, you know, it's Sideways Sue. There you go. Maybe instead of Sipping with Sue, we'll do Sideways Sue. Hey, there you go. All right, maybe we'll have like Sideways Wednesdays or something. Anyway, let me grab my things. They're right down here. I'm kind of excited about them. This one I'm the most excited about. And Liz, you'll be most excited about this because Liz and I are going away soon for a weekend away, girls' weekend away, which I'm quite excited about. And again, love those girls' weekends away. Love my family, but you know, can't wait to get away with the girls for a weekend. And I have to say, my talk is the week after. It just came up now, so I'm thinking, oh my gosh, part in my head I'm thinking, should I be going away? Should I be doing this? Yes, I should be going away because I'm organized and I'm good. We'll be fine. So anyway, I was driving down the highway, and those of you that know me know that I have eyelashes on my car. I know, isn't that the best? Have you ever seen them? I'm going to take a picture actually for you. It's the best thing. So I have these eyelashes on my car, and they're the best because people walk by my car and they're like pointing, looking, smiling, laughing, little kids especially, like they're like, mommy, daddy, look at the eyelashes. So I love it. And I was driving on the highway and my eyelashes, like I could see it. I was driving because they've been on my car for a couple years now, driving, and the eyelashes like were flying down the road. I was like, no, where are my eyelashes going? You know, I would have pulled over and stopped and got them if I could have, but I couldn't. So anyway, what I bought, which was great, is some new car eyelashes. Aren't they the best? Oh my gosh. And these go on my car. Oh my gosh, love them, love them, love them. Actually, these would be awesome on my eyes. Wouldn't that be cool? So anyway, these are going to go in my car, and they'll be on the road for when we go away for the girls' weekend. So Liz, hopefully you're not too embarrassed to drive with me and you'll be okay. But anyway, you know what? We got to have some fun in life. And these, honestly, these were the best things when they came in from Amazon.ca. I was like so super excited. They used to carry them in the stores, but they don't anymore. So you get them online. I love them. And actually my next pair that I saw, that you can get pink, gold, silver, and then you can get like eyeliner. Oh, it's never ending, right? Maybe they'll have lips next. I know. No one will ever want to drive my car, and that's a good thing, especially when you got teenagers in the house. Yeah, good. Okay, strategy. Have strategy, people. What else? And this is my last thing that I was going to share with you. So every year we have a really beautiful duck, and it's kind of my other oasis and the place that I go to when the weather's warm, because I'm such a sun worshiper. I know I'm going to be crinkly and wrinkly and old when I'm older, but whatever, I'll enjoy the tan now. So anyway, love our deck, and every year I buy a new piece for the deck just to kind of keep adding on it in the scaffolding. So this year I bought this, and I can't wait to see it at night when it's all lit up. So I'll show it to you. And if you can see it, it says barbecue. Isn't it so cool? And look, it lights up. Oh my gosh, love it, love it, love it. So again, a Walmart find. really excited about that. So excited about my 2 little finds and kind of treating myself to a few little goodies, and that's what you should be doing. Hopefully you're out there treating yourself because we all deserve it. We all work hard, and we all need to remember that we deserve to treat ourselves well, and even just treat ourselves with a little something, even if it's just, you know, going through the drive-through and buying a coffee that day. It's so important to take care of ourselves, which is, you know, really, really super, super important. So I'm going to wrap up, and I have a quote that I pulled just to wrap up. And this was the quote that I have this whole book, and then I was like, okay, universe, just give me the quote that I need for today. What does everybody need to hear? It's kind of like when people pull cards, I'm pulling quotes. So here it is. It's from my Seize the Day calendar, and the quote says, getting what you want is not nearly as important as giving what you have. So I think that for another Sipping with Sue, we might talk about that. Let me go through it again. Getting what you want is not nearly as important as giving what you have. There you go. So interesting. I think our next Sipping with Sue will be all about that. And just an announcement that next week there will be another blog coming out, so please read it. I know you're busy, but please read them. They're a fairly easy read, and comment on the blog site. I'd always appreciate it, and share it. Always much appreciated. And if there's anything you ever want me to talk about on my vlogs or write about in my blogs, I would love, love, love to hear from you. And again, thank you so much, all of you, for your follows, your shares, your likes, your comments. I know you're all so busy, and I appreciate all of it, because it helps, and it's working, and it makes me feel supported. And anything I can do for you, let me know, and I will do it. I am there. So thank you so much. And here's my PS. PS. Hang on, I forgot it. Welcome to menopause. Like, my brain, honestly, oh my goodness, I like so forgot my PS. Hang on, I gotta get in the zone. Where's my PS? Oh, I got it. PS, be your selfie. Over and out. Love ya.